The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
Harvey Weinstein is a rapist. What are the Afghanistan Papers? How to prepare for the coronavirus? All that and more on an all-new Might Be News. What up, everybody? It's the week of March 2nd, 2020. My name is Taylor Cooper. With me, as always, co-host Kev. What up, Kev?
What up, guys?
What up, Danny?
What's up, guys?
All right, guys. We're sponsored by eunomiacbd.com. Go to eunomiacbd.com. Promo code MBN. 20% off. Free shipping. Free shit. I say it every week. I mean it every week. Go fucking do it. Don't be stupid. Also, we're on YouTube right now. Go to YouTube. Search for MBN Network.
Did you need to tell them that we're on YouTube?
Smash the subscribe button. If they missed every single show last week, Kev, they didn't know that we were on YouTube. So now, hopefully they know. Go to YouTube.
Fair enough.
All new MBNnetwork.com. We redesigned it a little bit. We got a link straight to the YouTube. We got a link straight to Eunomia. You can listen to the most recent episode on there. It's great. It looks great. I love the new logos. How do you feel about the new logos?
You did an okay job. No, they look great.
I think they look awesome.
They look dope.
Yeah.
They look dope.
So the deal's over now, Kev. It's week 2. I gave you at least a half hour more than Danny thought I needed to.
But
Can I comment on this real quick?
Go ahead.
I listened to the episode.
Yeah.
And I listened to us talking about how much time you should get. And I kind of felt bad. I was a dick. So I brought you to make up for it. I brought you a Capri Sun because I knew that Taylor would not give you one.
I don't even have any.
Fuck you!
They don't pay us, but
put it in my butt and twist it.
Fuck you! You're supposed to drink it. You're not supposed to put it in your butt and twist it.
You better make that last, Kev.
But I felt bad because you were owed more than 30 minutes.
But I gave him more than 30 minutes. You son of a...
I'm going to put it in my butt and twist it.
I don't even know what flavor it is. Is it a good flavor?
Is it?
Splash cooler?
Sounds good to me. If it's a Capri Sun, chances are it's delightful.
It's delicious, no matter what it is.
They don't pay us, but it's okay. I love Capri Sun. Anyway. But
no, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just to let you know,
right?
This is a new season.
New season, same us, right? Different us. What are we
Different
doing?
Me.
Where are you going here? What?
I'm going to be as much of a dick to you as you are to me.
Really?
Listen to me right now. I don't.
So when you start talking, I'm just going to start talking.
You want to come out?
Or I'm just going to start making noise.
You want to come?
Yeah.
You want to come?
Yes, I am.
Here. Pop your chest out like that. No, Kev. That is not the natural order of fucking things around here. No.
Yo, you came in hard today.
I'm gonna put it in my butt and twist it. I'm gonna put it in my butt and twist it. I'm gonna put it in my butt and twist it.
I can do this. I can do this all fucking night. All fucking night. God, I want to just... If you don't shut the fuck up.
Oh, my God. I apologize if you're trying to listen to this.
No bueno. 0% chance that this is going to carry on. You son of a bitch. I'm nice to you for 1 week.
I love you too.
I think you just need to do it at random times. Like when he's getting real serious, just start interrupting him.
Don't give him any ideas.
I was a dick to him last week, and he didn't deserve that from me.
He deserves it all the time. Except for last week for me, because it was part of the deal.
All right, let's get on with the fucking show.
Bitch, I just want to throw shit at you. Everything I can find. And I have new ammo now. I can
just rip stuff off the wall.
Album of the week this week, 36 Chambers, Wu-Tang, just so everybody knows.
When did you get that?
Got that a month or 2 ago.
That's pretty cool.
Dude, it's really nice, too. It's the yellow vinyl, limited edition.
Oh,
that's dope.
Look at that thing. You can see it on YouTube. Nice.
That's dope.
I love it. Love it.
that's awesome.
One of my favorite albums ever. of all time. Instant classic. This is a huge instant classic.
I mean, that had a
Gritty
huge,
as fuck.
that had a huge influence on your life.
Huge. First time I heard 36 Chambers changed everything in how I looked at music. Like I wanted more of that forever.
Yeah.
Like forever. Wu-Tang changed my life forever. Wu-Tang forever. Anyway, you guys ready for some good news?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Hey, did you hear the news?
This better be good.
You want the good news or the bad news?
Give me the good stuff.
Danny, week 2, what do you got?
All right. So this story was actually talked about on Might Be Sports, but it's about the emergency goalie, David Ayers from the Carolina Hurricanes. David Ayers is the Zamboni driver for the Carolina Hurricanes, but he's also their backup goalie. So how this process works is if the...
I'm concerned. I just got a text message and I got to address this, but go ahead.
Go ahead. I just wanted to flick him off. That was just for the YouTube people.
Okay. So if the goalie goes down, they can dress the Zamboni driver as the backup goalie and use him if need be.
Yeah.
This game, he actually had to go in. And he was the first ever backup goalie to win an NHL hockey game by a score of 6-3.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
It's like it's like a dream that so many people have, and for him to go to work one day and think he's going to be driving a Zamboni and find out that he's actually going to play in a real game and actually win, cool stuff.
Yeah, that's like movie shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's awesome.
All right, my next story, I actually was given this from Kim, Jackie's sister. Kenya installs the first solar plant that transforms ocean water into drinking water. So water should not be a luxury product, but still in these modern times, 1 out of 9 people does not have access to clean drinking water. The main issue here is the only around 4% of Earth's water surface are rivers, lakes, and drinkable water. The rest is composed of oceans and salty water. So what they're doing is they are installing these solar-powered plants that are transforming salt water into drinkable water and giving villages and people who don't have access to clean water a reliable water source for, their family, for their town, wherever it needs to go.
That's incredible.
So, I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome that, we're able to use today's technology to help, people who are really in need of it.
Yeah. The people who have no concept of that technology either. You know what I mean? Very crazy shit.
So that's what I got for good news this week.
Great job, Danny. So as I mentioned in the intro there, this past week we've talked about it a couple times on the show. Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein was found guilty of rape and sexual assault. It's found non-guilty for predatory sexual assault, guilty for criminal sexual act in the first degree, not guilty for predatory sexual assault, count 3. He was found guilty for rape in the third degree. So he's going to be sentenced here soon. Expected to get a lot of time. We'll have to see. He's 67 years old.
Since when did he become so ill that he has to walk with a walker?
Yeah, I don't know. See,
I remember when this all went down, when he was arrested, they showed him, being taken to jail, and he looked fine.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Because, I don't know much, about dude other than I've seen a trillion movies made by his company or whatever. I don't really know much about the dude other than everything. He's a scumbag. Yeah. So I don't know. He looked really frail and shitty during this trial. I'm sure, they say stress fucking kills, and he knew that he was fucked from the second that this all broke out.
After the trial, when they were taking him back to jail, they had to take him to the hospital. They had to reroute him to the hospital. So,
his maximum sentence would be 25 years.
It kind of makes me feel like he's
Stunned for him.
might be trying to play something.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought too.
Yeah.
When I saw him, I was like, this fucking guy.
He's going to try to play the
fucking buy it.
old man card, you know.
Yeah, I don't fucking buy it. I just
Didn't work for Bill Cosby.
no, it didn't. The next thing I wanted to talk about was, I mean, we'll obviously update when we find out what Harvey Weinstein is, sentenced to or whatever. But there's a big piece of the news this past week. One thing that happened while we were on break, well, it actually was right before this story came out, right before the season finale. And I didn't want to talk about it on the season finale because it was kind of just something, it was a little darker than what the direction that I wanted to go for that show. But have you guys heard anything about the Afghanistan Papers?
So besides what you mentioned, no. Because you mentioned it a few times last season.
Right, yeah.
But we never got to really dive into it.
Right at the end, yeah. I haven't, all I've read is this article that the Washington Post put out, and that's where this is coming from. You can look it up. The article is called At War with the Truth. We posted it a while ago on the Facebook. I'll post it again because I feel like everybody should take a look at this. It's really crazy. U.S. officials constantly said that they were making progress in Afghanistan. They were not, and they knew it.
Yeah.
A confidential trove of government documents obtained by the Washington Post reveals that senior U.S. officials failed to tell the truth about the war in Afghanistan throughout the 18-year campaign, making rosy pronouncements they knew to be false and hiding unmistakable evidence that the war had become unwinnable. The documents were generated by a federal project examining the root failures of the longest armed conflict in U.S. history. They include more than 2,000 pages of previously unpublished notes of interviews with people who played a direct role in the war, from generals and diplomats to aid workers and Afghan officials. The U.S. government tried to shield the identities of the vast majority of those interviewed for the project and conceal nearly all of their remarks. This whole thing is really, really crazy. I mean, since 2001, more than 775,000 U.S. troops have been deployed to Afghanistan, many repeatedly. Of those, 2,300 have died, and 20,589 were wounded in action. It started under the Bush administration. It went all the way through Obama administration. It's now in Trump's administration. This is like, obviously, a bipartisan thing. This isn't something that's Republican or Democrat. This is just a really fucking shitty thing. And the deeper you go into this, I'm not going to read this whole, it's huge. This article's huge. There's links to everything that you want on here. You can see the documents on this article. More than 2,000 pages of interviews and memos reveal a secret history to the war. Part 2 of this thing is stranded without a strategy. Conflicting objectives dogged the war from the start, and responses is the third part. Responses to the post from people named in the Afghanistan Papers. So they have all this information in this article, which is so crazy because they talk about the interviews, they talk about the things that people were saying, all the money that was spent, taxpayer money that was spent on this, and not a lick of real progress has been made, at least in the overall scheme of things. Like, we're seeing in the news now that, like, yeah, we killed this leader, we killed this general, we killed this thing, we did this thing. That's all like very, very recent stuff. And I don't even know if I believe all of it, any of it, because one of the things that this thing talks about is how the media basically fed us a bunch of shit about this ever since it started. It wasn't going anywhere. What America wanted to achieve in the beginning of this whole thing was removing Saddam Hussein in Iraq and getting all that shit done right after 9/11. You remember the aircraft carrier landing.
Yep.
You remember. And it just has kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going. And all this money and all these people And you read all this, and it's just like, holy shit. I urge people to go check it out because I was like frustrated. I'm like reading this. That's right. I read this. Do you remember when I had jury duty?
Yep.
I read it on the train. And I'm just sitting here like, holy fuck. And I kept looking to see if anybody was posting about it, see if anybody was talking about it. And I just didn't see anything. I'm like, guys, it's a big fucking deal. It's a big fucking deal.
I mean, that was a big part of, our growing up was the war. I mean, I remember sitting in, I believe it was 10th grade band class when President Bush announced the shock and awe. Mm-hmm. And I remember turning the TVs on and watching just all the missiles and bombs just going off everywhere from the shock and awe.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of us growing up.
Right. Just watching that. It
still
really
is a
crazy.
big part of us.
It is. Dude, people
Remember?
Go ahead.
Do you remember them bombing? And it was during the school day.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching shit on TV.
Yeah.
During the day
At school?
Yeah. So
I remember. I remember seeing stuff at school, but I remember watching it at home.
What would that have been? Our senior year? No, if it was for you, it was 10th grade, so it
you
would have
guys
been
would've been 11.
juniors. Yeah.
So the Twin Towers were hit when I was in 9th grade. And I was, once again, in band class. I still don't do band, but everything happens when I'm in band class, apparently. We were in band class, and Mr. Barnett stood up and said, just want to let you know, there was an accident. A plane hit one of the Twin Towers. That's it. And he went along and just did class like it was normal. We were not allowed to turn TVs on in the 9th grade center. Now, 10th grade, I remember sitting in band class again, and I remember us watching the TVs, and it was nighttime where they were, but it was the shock and awe, going into
I don't remember
effect.
that at all.
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
Wild watching that.
I remember watching it at home more than I remember watching it at school. I remember seeing it at school.
That was the only time I remember seeing it at school.
Yeah, I remember seeing it at school.
I don't remember it, period.
Yeah.
The U.S. government has not carried out a comprehensive accounting of how much it has spent on the war in Afghanistan, but the costs are staggering. Since 2001, the Defense Department, State Department, and U.S. Agency for International Development has spent or appropriated between $934 billion and $978 billion, somewhere between there, according to an inflation-adjusted estimate calculated by Netta Crawford, a political science professor and co-director of the Cost of War Project at Brown University. Those figures do not include money spent by other agencies such as the CIA and the Department of Veterans Affairs, which is responsible for the medical care for wounded veterans. So that doesn't include any of that. It doesn't include VA hospital stuff. It doesn't include any of that stuff. $934 billion and $978 billion, somewhere in that ballpark. And like my whole point, and it just... It frustrates me when, not to get too political, I don't want to get into it, but like I see it and I'm just like, people get really upset. Some people get really upset when you mention like free healthcare or free college or free blah, blah, blah. And you don't bat an eye at this. That's silly to me. It's silly to me. Why wouldn't you want to get better?
Yeah.
The next thing that I wanted to talk about is you've been hearing it everywhere, this coronavirus.
Okay, terrific.
Fucking coronavirus.
Corona stock has been...
Yo, how crazy. I would be so mad.
38%.
I would be so mad.
They're down 38%.
That's nuts.
I would be
crazy.
so mad.
And I love Corona.
Right.
Corona is up there as one of my... If I'm looking for a real drinkable beer that I can just sit down and just drink all day long, it's going to be Corona.
Yeah.
The coronavirus will eventually go away. I don't think Corona, the beer, is ever going to go away.
Just like Ebola went away, just like SARS went away.
Yeah.
It will go away.
It will.
So buy Corona stock right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, buy any stock you can right now. The whole thing.
The whole market's down.
So last week was the worst week in the stock market since 2008.
My
Crazy.
One of the guys I work with, he told me his 401 took a hit of $42,000. His 401k went down.
Wow.
Big money.
Yeah.
The CDC said last week that Americans should prepare for coronavirus crisis across the U.S. Quote, it's not so much a question of if this will happen anymore, but rather more a question of exactly when. That's what they're saying. So I looked it up. I went on, simple Google search, trying to figure out what should I do to prepare for the coronavirus.
Get lots of limes.
Get lots of limes. Before I get into this, how concerned are you guys?
None.
Zero?
Zero.
Zero. I wasn't expecting that. I'll be honest.
Zero.
What about you?
I mean, it's in the back of my mind, but it's not where I'm paranoid or worried about it. But I do know that it is going to cause a lot of people to panic and be scared. And something probably will happen with the government, some sort of quarantine where they start eliminating stuff to prevent the spread of it.
Yeah.
So I am prepared for something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not panicking about it. I'm not.
Right. Well, I mean, the reason it surprised me that you feel that way is because, as parents, you see how fast, this shit spreads around schools and whatever. It's a crazy thing. And apparently people aren't showing symptoms of this for like a week or two. You don't even know that you got it. And then all of a sudden you're sick as shit.
But all the cases in the United States have been cured.
Right. Well, they're being separated, yes. They're not all cured yet, I don't believe. But we have one of the better medical, obviously, systems in the world. But so I found this on webmd.com, preparing for coronavirus, do's and don'ts. Obviously, it says you should wash your hands for at least 20 seconds several times a day. Use soap and water or hand sanitizer, at least 60% alcohol. Do this before cooking or eating, after using the bathroom, after blowing your nose, after coughing. You know all this shit.
General cleanliness.
Shit. Right.
And that's like this. Listen, this is like the number one thing of how it spreads is people not washing their hands.
Yeah.
Like, think of going to Wawa and opening the door at Wawa. How many people have touched that door?
Well, that's the thing that really pisses me off. It really infuriates me. So I'm on the road all day long.
Yeah.
And I got to use the shitter once a day, at least once a day. And I go into Wawa, I do my business, I wash my hands, but the 10 people that were in front of me didn't wash their hands, and they touched that door handle before me. Some Wawas have that sanitary handle. Have you seen that yet?
No.
So it's this hook that's like face level, and you can actually put your forearm in and open it with your forearm. It's called the sanitary knob or something like that.
PJ Wellahans in Downingtown has something like that too, where you can open and close the door with like a foot pedal.
Yeah.
On the bottom of the door. So
Yep.
you do not have to touch the door at all.
Right. So, but that's the thing that pisses me off about Wawa. It wouldn't be such a big deal to me, but Wawa doesn't have paper towels in them. It's just the hand blowers.
Yeah.
And if you use those,
It puts all the germs right back on
all the
your
germs
hands.
right back on your hands because it's sucking the air in the bathroom and blowing it on your hands.
All those poop particles.
poop particles.
Poop particles.
Particles.
Poop particles.
All over your hands. Your wet hands.
It says on here, don't travel if you have a fever. If you get sick on a flight, tell a crew immediately. When you get home, contact a health professional.
Don't tell them why you're there because you'll get shot.
Don't listen to Kev. You're not going to get shot. Tell somebody if you get a fucking fever on a fucking plane. Don't panic, it says. At this point, cases of COVID-19, which is, I think they changed it after Corona fucking freaked out.
Yeah, they've been using that name a lot more now. I think they're saying that's like the most purest form of the coronavirus.
That's what's, I guess, making people really sick.
Yes.
Is the COVID-19. At this point, cases of COVID-19 in the U.S. number in the dozens. Only one has no clear connection to another country or sick person. a do on this list. Prepare by making sure you have supplies at home in case someone gets sick and needs to be quarantined. This would include prescription medications for anyone in the family, other health and disinfectants to clean household surfaces. Studies suggest that coronavirus can live on surfaces for a few hours or up to several days. Clean them regularly with disinfectant to kill the virus. While COVID-19 has not yet been declared a pandemic, the government website also suggests keeping a 2-week supply of food and water in the case of a pandemic and having copies of electronic health records. I heard this thing on NPR this past week. They were talking to somebody out in Washington where people are being quarantined. Some people are being quarantined. And they have these services. They have people coming every other day or something and dropping off food at their door, or dropping off medications, whatever. They make sure that they have, good Wi-Fi. They make sure that they have snacks, books, whatever they need to stay in. Hopefully they can work from home. Yeah. They also connect them with the I'm blanking on the name of it, but they'll pay you if you're off from work. It's like, it's all government regulated shit. Like they'll pay you if it's not mandatory out there. It's voluntary. So if you volunteer to do this, depending on how long you're gone from work, they'll get you paid for it to a certain point, whatever. But this is all happening. It's something to keep an eye on. But one thing that's been really crazy this past week is all the sensationalism. We know this by watching the news. Everything is just clickbait at this point. They want you to watch it. They want you to read it. They want you to click on it. It's hard to tell how freaked out we should be because we're in the age of sensationalism. Like, it's just, everything's crazy.
People don't take things seriously.
Right. People don't take things seriously, but also, like, some people take things too seriously. Yep. Right? So, like, you never know exactly where you should fit in. And
people freak out when a snowstorm is coming in.
Right. So that's that's something I said this week too to somebody. Was like,
oh, I know they do. I know they do.
This could be like, you go to the grocery store and all the milk and bread is gone. Right. So like, it's like the same vibe. I'm getting the same vibe. But then sometimes the meteorologist is right. You know what I mean? That's what I'm like.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's just like, sometimes you go there and you're just like, we got a dusting. Everybody's an idiot, and I'm just like laughing at everybody.
It's because it's an educated guess.
Right.
But that's all they're doing.
And then that's all this is too. So it's crazy because it could be something. Maybe it's not. Could be something. I don't know.
So one thing I want to clear up real quick. I am the person that has started to stock up on a few supplies in case something like this does happen. And one thing is face masks, because that is one of the easiest ways to get it is airborne. See a lot of, the news stations showing, every time they talk about the coronavirus, they always show somebody with a face mask on, right? Mm-hmm. 90% of the time, it's the wrong face mask. If the face mask is not an N95 certified with a small filter on the front, that face mask is going to do nothing for you. That face mask is more made for doctors or dentists or surgeon. So when they're leaning over in front of you, nothing is getting onto them from you. That only prevents somebody else. It does not prevent you from inhaling anything else.
Right.
So you need to get the N95 one with the small filter on the front. That's the only thing that's going to keep you safe from, taking it in that way.
Or just go out and spend $20 and a couple filters and get a full-on respirator.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that too.
But I mean, do you really want to sit around at home wearing just that?
You gotta learn the symptoms for this: fever, cough, shortness of breath. Basic flu-like symptoms, which is also tough because it's the flu season.
And this flu's been bad this year.
Yeah, it has. This says don't wear a mask unless you're sick. It's not the ones that you're talking about. I think they're talking about like the surgical mask. Don't wear a mask unless you're sick. Masks help protect others from catching the virus, but wearing one when you're healthy won't do much. Demand has been so high worldwide that shortages have begun, leaving the masks for people who really need them, like the sick or healthcare professionals, is recommended. That's what WebMD says. It's all crazy stuff. I don't know. We talk about some pretty crazy shit on this show, like living robots, aliens, whole bunch of things, zombies.
But this is something like, it's not like a snowstorm coming in where, it could, snow or it could rain. Like this, it's actively happening all over the world right now. And if you can see how bad it's spreading, just turn on the news.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is something to keep in the back of your mind.
Yeah, something to keep an eye on.
But nothing to lose sleep over
Don't
or
panic
over.
Yeah, don't panic.
Just keep it in the back of your mind. Do smart things. Number one thing, wash your hands. Cover your mouth if you
Don't
gotta
be an
sneeze.
idiot.
Especially like bring some, hand sanitizer with you if you're going to like heavily populated areas, airports, stadiums, even grocery stores.
Just wash your hands, people.
Clean yourself the fuck up, people.
Don't be a scumbag.
God damn.
Don't be a scumbag.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Might Be News. I'm Taylor Cooper. With me, as always, co-host Kev. Hi, Kev.
Yeah, buddy. That Capri Sun was delicious.
Sounded like so much disappointment in that when you said hi, Kev.
It's delicious. Thank you.
Fucking
Welcome.
disgusted with you, dude. Just disgusted. Danny, hi.
Hi.
First thing. It's going to be a long season, man. It's going to be a long season, dude.
Yeah.
Long fucking season, dude. Yo, all right. So first thing I want to say, shout out to our sponsors. You Know Me CBD. Go to YouKnowMeCBD.com.
Go get some.
We had a huge premiere week. Huge premiere week last week. I want to shout out everybody that listened, everybody that checked out the website, everybody that went to YouTube and checked us out. Got a lot of really positive reactions out of the YouTube. People like seeing us. People like being a part of this whole thing with us. And I really got the vibe that we're doing this right. I really got that vibe last week that like things are moving in a really good direction here, and it was a really crazy week for me because all this is new to me as far as producing the shows and then figuring out the video stuff. It's been a challenge, but I'm really excited for it. I get a really great sense of satisfaction when I finish one of these videos. And it's a lot of fun doing it. And like I said, people reached out to me. Shout out to the people who reached out to me, and talked to me about it because I wanted the feedback. I wanted to hear what people thought about it, especially our Patreon people. Go to patreon.com/NBN Network. Subscribe now. Get entered to our wild card. Get all the 30-minute videos too. You get the extra content over there. And just thank you to everybody who's checking us out. Also, shout out to the people who've checked out our store too. We've sold some coffee mugs. That's a kind of a hit. People I think really like the coffee mugs. So people are liking that. A couple of shirts and stuff too. It's been really neat. So thank you to all the people that are shopping. Go to mbnnetwork.com. We have a link to our store there. It's really, really cool.
One thing about the video, last week, if you watched our episode on YouTube, it was in 2 parts. This week, it will be all in one video, so it'll be a lot easier for you to watch. You don't got to go searching for part 2 if it doesn't come up automatically. So this week, it will all be one video, a lot easier for you to watch.
And it's going to be like that forever. Smash the subscribe button, you motherfuckers. And after you're done smashing that shit, fucking smash the notification button. So
The little bell.
every time, a little bell thing on there. I guess it's a thing. It's a thing.
Tell you whenever we post a new video.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yep.
Let's do what's the point.
What's the point? Is there a point to this? What is your point?
Are you just gonna sit there and look stupid?
Kev, what is your point?
So it was your review last week. What was your review last week? Was it that show?
I don't remember what my review was last week.
The show that you and Jackie watch. The fucking pods of the people.
Yeah, but I didn't review that last week.
We talked about it.
We did talk about
okay.
it, yes.
All right. So I left here.
Okay.
Went home. Turned that on.
Yeah. What'd you think? You're talking about Love is Blind.
Love
what
is
it's called.
Blind.
Yes.
How many episodes did you watch?
One.
You just watched one.
And I was like, yeah.
Are you going to watch any more?
No.
How many have you watched?
We finished it.
Okay, so this is my point. Love is Blind is my point this week, too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I binge watched the shit out of it in 2 days and watched all 10 episodes.
So you saw the end.
I want to talk about it.
Okay.
Because I have nobody to talk about it with.
we can talk about it.
Allison hasn't watched it yet. So,
We can talk about it.
Allison, if you're listening to this, stop listening. Go ahead and finish your point, and then
Yeah.
I want to get into it.
You didn't like it.
And it just wasn't for me. And Amy said that, I thought that was interesting. That wasn't the show that I was talking about. Do you remember her saying that on Relatable Radio?
Yeah,
She
I
said,
do.
Kevin said he wanted to see that. No.
Yeah, and you said you were going to
Yes,
jump all
that's
over
right,
for
yeah,
it.
'cause you're-
No, that wasn't it.
No,
that was because I was talking about,
I don't believe you.
she was supposed to reach out to you guys on the on the Facebook chat, on the message, but she never did. But that was never the show, because I was the Circle or something
Circle.
like that. I said, that kind of looks interesting, but I never wound up watching
We
it.
finished that last night, too.
How was that?
Better than Love is Blind. Kind
More
of.
train wrecky?
No, not at all. There was no train wrecks on The Circle. It was a different thing.
Okay.
Love is Blind, train wreck city at the end.
See,
Not quite as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it was bad.
No, I mean, I face palmed a few times.
Yes.
A few things that really, didn't,
All right, so
I didn't see coming.
Let's dive into some spoilers here. So if anybody out there hasn't watched Love is Blind, scan ahead like 5 minutes.
Okay.
A couple minutes.
So, I personally loved the show.
Yeah.
Reason I like the show so much is because me growing up, I was always the big guy, and I always had problems talking to ladies because I was the overweight kid in high school. And I always said, I think I'm a good person. I think I got a great personality. I want somebody to listen to me and hear me for me. And that's exactly what that show did. And I really like the whole concept of finding somebody that you are attracted to mentally
Yeah.
and spiritually without being physically attracted.
I liked that part of the show a lot.
Yes.
What I didn't like about the show is that it forces you to get married in 50 days.
Yeah.
I think that the whole point of it should be, hey, do you like each other? Great. Go ahead, date, and we'll check in on you in few
6 months.
Right.
Because that was actually a problem.
Right.
And
that specific part proved to be a problem. The
Yeah.
whole marriage thing. I
Yep.
think that a lot of those couples that didn't make it in the end maybe could have
if they had
that
more
pressure
time.
wasn't there.
Yep. So initially, your initial thought on some of the characters,
Mm-hmm.
who stood out to you?
A couple of them. So Cameron stuck out to me.
Cameron was so geeky and nerdy and reserved.
Jackie and I were laughing so hard because like every time they showed him just about, he was crying.
Yeah.
He was crying about something.
Oh, yeah.
He got like super emotional, and then like how like they do the confessionals and reality shows. So something's happening. It's just him like, I like this girl. I love her. And then it shows him in the confessional. He's just crying.
But I mean,
like every time. And then he rapped for her mom.
which it blew my mind.
It blew my mind, but like that was the cringiest thing that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no.
Was he good?
No. I mean, he wasn't terrible, but
I mean,
the way that they set it up on the show was really bad.
he's a white scientist.
Like the whitest dude.
And he matched with
Out of
Black
everybody,
girl.
though, she lucked out. Like
Yeah.
he's a great dude. I mean, she was awesome too.
Oh, yeah.
I liked them both from the beginning. I was like, all right, I like these guys. Jessica was a trip.
Real quick, back to Cameron. He kept saying, "I'm gonna take care of you," and I'm like, "No shit, you're a fucking scientist."
Yeah, you live in like this dope ass house in
He's
Maine.
got like a 3-level house.
Yo, his house is balling. Yeah,
huge.
she like took him to hit her like a little apartment at first,
Little
and
studio,
he was like,
yeah.
"Yeah, it's nice." And then like they went up to his place, and she was like, "Holy shit!"
Lives by himself.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
guy's
Yeah.
got some money. Jessica, I really liked her from the very beginning.
Yeah. Just don't let her drink.
Yeah, but she really started to annoy the shit out of me
Yeah.
as the season went on. Like, I started to grow
She was-
this hatred towards her
Yeah.
just for the way she was
But
acting and the way she treated Mark.
I liked Mark.
Mark was a genuine dude.
I like the dudes in the show. I'm not gonna lie. I like the
Yeah.
dudes in the show. I like the girls too. I didn't like Jessica all that much. Quote of the show, I forget who said it, but she was like, "Jessica is a messica."
Oh my God, yep. I believe that was Amber that said that.
Jessica is a messica.
I
We
also
were dying. It's stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
'Cause when she
But like
drank, she
if
was
you
a
started
mess.
though, you're just like, all right, well, I guess I have to finish. What did it for me for that show? They really knocked it out of the park with the trailer for the show. You know, like Netflix, it just automatically plays trailers unless you turn it off. That's a new thing. But it just, if you come across it, the trailer starts. So I was just like waiting. I was at home. I was waiting for Jackie to go home, and I was like, I just want to put something on. I have like 30 minutes.
yeah.
And I'm like scrolling through, and I was gonna go put BoJack Horseman on, but this is right next to it. I'm like, oh, what's that? I look at it, and I watch the trailer, and I see somebody running away at the wedding, and I'm just like, all right, I'll check this out. And then sucked in. No
So
way
you
out.
weren't even with your wife when you started
No.
to watch it.
I wasn't either. I
Yeah,
started
but
watching
you
it
went
at
off
work.
of his review.
I did.
You went off of or him talking about it. I'll give you a pass on that one.
So
This fucking guy.
in the preview, I didn't see the preview, but you said you did.
Yeah.
Was that the same person you thought it was going to be running?
No, it wasn't.
Because that really shocked the shit out of me.
No, it wasn't.
I really like Gianna. Mm-hmm. I really liked her.
Yeah,
I like
I did too. He did the right thing because she was a nutcase.
She
was
was.
nuts.
She was.
She was nuts.
I
But
like-
again, if they had more time,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And like the whole ending was crazy. Apparently, well, when the show comes out this week, they have a reunion
Yes.
on Thursday.
Okay.
coming out. Yeah.
That's when it comes out Thursday?
Yeah. So
Because
I'd like to see that.
I literally watched all 10 episodes in 2 nights.
Mm.
I went into work and they were like, yeah, we're not working tonight. We're shut down. I was like, okay, I'm going to binge watch the shit out of this. And so I did.
You got to sit at work and watch this and get paid for it.
Yeah. Thanks for ratting me out. You made it very clear what I just did. If my boss is listening, I did a lot. I swept a lot of floors.
That's terrific.
the fucking it was a train wreck. It was good. The circle, I enjoyed the circle. The circle is first of all, let me say this. I like the reality shows on Netflix because they curse. It adds a different thing to it. Kev, you look at me stupid.
I like the Jersey Shore.
You look stupid all the time, but you just look stupid when I say stupid things. Listen, shut the fuck up.
You do say stupid things a lot.
You know what I liked about
You know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
They're cursing on the show and it adds a different thing. It's different than hearing a stupid beep or whatever.
But it's completely different. Like
it adds a different dimension to it.
I said it to Allison. I said the way they made this show, like you said, Nick Lachey and Vanessa Lachey, they are the host. Mm-hmm. They were on 3 times.
Yeah, they weren't there much.
Like they're not there. They're not making them interact. They're not making them, play games to see who they match up with. It's literally these 2 people and their pure emotions.
Yeah.
And I really liked how Netflix made it that way, where it was more about the couples than about the show itself.
I liked it. It was different.
Yeah.
I would say that. I thought it was cheesy. I thought it was a dumb idea.
It was a dumb concept.
You know what I mean? It was a cool concept, but it just like it was too much at the end.
Okay.
It was too much.
I used the wrong word. It was a
Right?
dumb reward at the end.
Yes.
What was the reward?
They just got married to somebody that they barely know.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the circle.
No. The circle. All right, circle's different. Circle, you get a reward of $100,000 at the end,
Oh, wow.
and it's basically a social media game show where, it's kind of like remember that show Big Brother?
Yeah.
Mixed with like the real world, kind of. So they send a bunch of people. It's like 8 people into like this apartment complex. Nobody sees each other. They keep them separated the whole time. You're in your apartment. That's it. And there's cameras everywhere. And there's TVs everywhere. And it's like this social media platform called The Circle. And it's all voice activated. And you say, hey, Circle, message so-and-so. And they send them a message and they, talk, whatever. But there's people in there catfishing. Not everybody is, but there's people in there catfishing.
No shit.
And they go on for days and days and days doing this. And at the end of each day, all the players rate the other players. Who is the most popular, blah, blah, blah. And for the most of the show, the top 2 people become the influencers, and they essentially vote somebody off. But when you vote somebody off, if you get voted off, you get to go meet somebody. You get to go to somebody's apartment and meet them. And after that, you make a video to send it to everybody, in the morning or whatever. So somebody caught somebody catfishing. They didn't narc them out, but they're just like, somebody's playing games. You know what I mean? There's people in here lying. It was cool because it was different. It was dumb because all these people were pretty much faking it. Because it's a popularity contest.
Playing the game.
It's a popularity contest.
They're playing the game.
You're literally sucking everybody's dick the whole time.
Right.
And it's just, by the end of it, it's just like, oh my God, too much. But it was really good. I enjoyed it. The finale was great. I liked it. People, you should check out The Circle. If you thought it looked interesting, it is. It is interesting. It was cool. My point this week, and I'm going to go last because it ties in directly to my late review. But Jackie and I watched the new show on Amazon called Hunters. You've probably seen ads for it. It's got Al Pacino in it and a couple other people.
I haven't seen a single ad for it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really good. It's on Amazon. It's an Amazon original. It's called Hunters, and it takes place in 1977, and they are basically Nazi hunters.
I remember you talking about this.
They hunt and kill
Nazis.
Okay.
I'll get into the show.
Is it in the States or is it in?
Yeah, it's in the States. I'll get into the show in a minute. One of the things, and the reason why, so in the show, there's a bunch of Nazis in America. They created new identities, new lives, started families, And this is like 30 years plus after World War II. And quite a few of the people in this group of hunters are actual survivors of the Holocaust. And during the show, it kind of goes into like their stories and stuff. But how these Nazis came to America, and this is true, I was fucking crazy. I thought this was really crazy. Called Operation Paperclip. Operation Paperclip was a secret program of the Joint Intelligence Objective Agency, largely carried out by special agents of Army CIC, which is more than 1,600 German scientists, engineers, and technicians, such as Werner von Braun and his V-2 rocket team. They were taken from Germany to the United States for U.S. government employment, primarily between 1945 and 1959. Many were former members and some were former leaders of the Nazi Party. So the U.S. government, after World War II, rounded up 1,600 approximately higher up people in
Germany.
Nazis, and for the Nazis.
Yeah.
And brought them to the U.S., sent them to NASA, sent them to the CIA, sent them to the FBI, sent them to the White House, sent them all into a bunch of different facets of our government. Because they were viewed as widely viewed as the most brilliant scientists in the world at the time. And the reason behind this was that the U.S. wanted to get them before Russia did.
Right.
You know, which makes total sense when you say it out loud, because Cold War, you get it, all this shit. But like, to think about it like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you think about NASA, you think about the moon landing, you think about this, you think about the advancements in our technology, you think about all these different things. You think about the repercussions of putting somebody like that close to our government. You think about, they talk about in the show, Huntsville, Alabama. A lot of these Nazis that we're talking about were relocated to Huntsville, Alabama. This is where my little brother and sister live. I didn't know that this town had this like background.
Yeah.
But there was a big German migration to Huntsville, Alabama, apparently, that and a lot of these people were straight out of the Nazi party. Wow. Straight up. And they built a foundation in this town. And you think about it, you know, down south, you know, stereotypical thoughts.
Yeah,
you know,
makes sense down there.
You get into that backwood environment and you thrive, and you push that white supremacist shit, because these people weren't being recorded, they weren't being observed. A lot of them, like the higher up people were, but like their families weren't. You know what I mean? The people that they brought with them, the people that came with them, because it wasn't just them. You know, they were bringing people here as part of the deal. And, you know, soldiers that just tapped out of the army over there came over as well. Like, it was a lot of people started new lives here after World War II, and a lot of them were Nazis. And so the whole shit was wild, because like I'm sitting here watching the show, which was very, very good. I'll talk about it again more in just a second. And they're talking about all this stuff, and like I noticed that like the thing on the show is just like based on true events. Like, I know that maybe something like this happened as far as the general premise for the show, right, but I thought that the overall Operation Paperclip, like, that's real. Like, all this shit is really, really nuts. And understandable, like I said, because obviously things could be a lot different if we were just like, yeah, fuck those guys, and Russia got them.
Yep.
Or not, maybe not, but it could be. So I just wanted to, like, that. I just thought that was really, really crazy.
That's nuts.
It kind of blew my mind when I'm like sitting there watching it, because, you know, you're watching a show about something so crazy and you're not really expecting it to be real. Speaking of that,
do your review.
Yeah. I know it's a little late, but
You're just hearing about this?
Can't believe I'm just hearing.
Why didn't I know about this sooner?
my review is Hunters, the original series on Amazon. Just came out a couple of weeks ago now.
And you said Al Pacino's in it.
Al Pacino.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he play like a main role in it?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
How old does he look?
Old.
Old.
He's great in it. He's
Really?
great. The whole cast is awesome, and the whole story is awesome. All the good guys are great. All the bad guys are great. The first scene of the show is bananas, and it really gets crazier.
The opening scene to the whole show.
Opening scene was awesome.
That intrigues me.
Yes. Yep.
It was really, really just, you're just like, wait, what? And then it just keeps getting crazier. So every now and then it kind of shows.
How many episodes is it? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Shit, was it 10 or 12? I think it was 12.
Okay.
Hour?
I think it was 12.
Hour each one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
It felt like the first one was longer. It might have been. Now I'm thinking about it. But anyway, the general premise, like I said, is that these group of people are going around hunting Nazis. And at first you're kind of like not really sure that they're actually killing Nazis. Like you're not really sure what the hell's going on at first. But then it becomes pretty clear, because the whole time that they're going around doing this, there's an FBI agent investigating these murders and how they tie together. And she starts to figure out what's going on. And in the show, the Nazis are communicating. They're basically planning the Fourth Reich and trying to, do terroristic plots and take over America and all the shit. It's way deeper than just what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it gets really intense. Occasionally in the show, it does flashbacks to certain things that happened in the concentration camps. Pretty uncomfortable to watch. Some of it gets pretty crazy. But it makes the outcome of the show all that much more rewarding, I think. And I think that's why they did it that way. Jackie and I were really entertained by it, really captivated by it. The storytelling was great. I feel like a lot of shows nowadays kind of like skip around time-wise. And some of them may or may not be kind of clear with that. The Witcher, for example, you really never knew what the fuck was going on in that show because it was 3 different time periods all at once, and it was weird and great at the same time. It's very blatant when it's a flashback. Everything else is happening right now. It's really easy to follow. You know what I mean? I will say this, that there are a couple very significant, very mind-blowing, and very, I didn't see it coming, very unpredictable twists at the very end that I thought were really, really interesting and very, very crazy. I give the show easy 9.
Really?
Easy, very easy 9.
Okay.
Easy watch.
Okay.
Definitely not for kids, but very good.
Huh.
Very good.
Nice.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go. So, went out to dinner tonight. Went to Red Robin.
Okay. Did you get the bottomless fries?
I stopped going to real quick. I stopped going to Red Robin
Why?
because every time we go there, we have a problem with service,
The service did suck.
Every
It was slow.
time.
It was slow.
and so we stopped going there altogether.
It's cheap. There's always something for the kids to eat,
Yep.
so it's just easy.
Yep.
It's easy when we want to
Yeah,
go out to
I
eat.
like it too.
Right. So the last time we were at Red Robin, Amy turned me on to this appetizer. Fried pickles.
Oh, God.
Wait, you don't like pickles?
No. They're fucking delicious, dude.
No shit.
Oh my God. I am telling you. You need to go to Red Robin and try one. Just one. One. You're a grown-ass man. You're an adult. You can deal with it for one, and you're going to like it, dude. I'm serious. You don't fucking wide-eye me like that. Dude, they're good.
No.
So
No.
does this mean you like pickles now?
No.
Okay, so this brings up something on my end. Ranch and Cool Ranch Doritos.
Okay.
I love Cool Ranch Doritos.
Right. Cool Ranch Doritos isn't fucking ranch
It's
dressing.
not ranch. Let's make that clear right now for everybody out there on YouTube. Ranch and Cool Ranch Doritos are 2 separate things. Done. Go back.
Fried pickles and pickles are not 2 different things.
They are.
Are they?
I mean, that's a stretch. That's a real stretch.
Have you ever had a pickle?
Yes.
When?
Unlike you, Kev, I have actually eaten the things that I don't like. Many times, in fact. That's how I know I don't like them.
Yeah, pickles. Regular pickles, not for me. Not for me.
Have you ever eaten a pickle?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
When it's stuck into my hamburger.
Snuck.
Somebody fucking put it on your double cheeseburger.
Right underneath the cheese.
Yeah. Oh, you fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, that's how they get you, dude. That's how you know that they were fucking with you. Because who does that? Who puts pickles underneath the cheese?
Dude.
Why would you do something so stupid?
Fucking terrorist acts,
The only reason that I can think of, and how many was there? One? Yeah. That's the other thing. Who would ever put one pickle on a burger? Somebody who's trying to fuck with you. Straight up. They would never put one pickle on a burger.
Yeah.
Much less they would never ever put that shit under the cheese. They did that specifically to fuck with you specifically.
And you.
Yes, it's happened to me.
Listen, like,
yes, it has happened to me.
It's a known fact. You always put the pickle on top of the lettuce so the heat from the burger does not make the pickle warm because you want a cold pickle when you bite into the hamburger.
Right.
Or no pickle at all. In my case, 0% pickle. I don't want no pickle. No pickle on a fucking chicken sandwich. No pickle on a fucking burger. No pickle dipped in something and fried up. I don't give a fuck.
Dude, it's delicious.
You can more for you, bro. More for you.
More for me. But
yeah.
I fully agree with you on the chicken sandwich thing. No pickle at all can even touch it because then the vinegar gets inside the pickle or inside the piece of chicken and in the bread.
All in it. Ruined.
Bro, what?
Ruined.
The fuck? Like,
dude, gross.
That's one of the best parts about the Chick-fil-A sandwich is the pickle.
Nope.
Popeye's chicken sandwich, that big ass thick pickle on there, that shit is banging.
So
no.
if my chicken sandwich gets to me and it doesn't have that big orange round sticker on it that says no pickle, please take this back.
I've gotten home and just thrown it away. I don't even try to get it off.
Call me next time. Yo, I'm 30 seconds up the street.
Here's the trash can. It's in the trash can.
So if you like
Mad.
fried pickles, look for fried jalapeno peppers. Same thing.
No.
They slice them down, dip them,
about
fry them.
Rate it. We're almost out of time. Rate the pickles.
6.
Okay, not enough for me to try it. Moving on.
All right, I'll be quick. I watched Don't Fuck with Cats.
Yes. I want to talk more about this in Patreon.
Okay. I loved.
'Cause I really want to know what you think.
I'm
That's
like,
what he's supposed to tell you now.
It was 3 parts, right? I got that right. Was it 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
'Cause after I said that to you, I was like, was I lying? Okay.
No, that was 3. So I liked how determined these people were on the internet to find who this person was that was doing these things. It also wasn't that long ago.
No,
this
it
was
wasn't.
2010.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really glad. I don't remember this happening,
No.
which is kind of crazy because it made like headline news everywhere worldwide.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that I do not remember what happened because I think it kind of would have ruined a little bit of the suspense for me. Because I found myself like sitting on the edge of my seat watching this, trying to figure this out, and I'm trying to like piece together what they're seeing, in the background of the videos. Also, the mom. What the fuck? Like, how can you be so, like, they're telling you your son's doing this, and she still was like, nope, not my kid, somebody else.
Yeah. I mean,
She was just as crazy as he was.
yeah. The whole thing was really, really crazy, and I'm glad you watched it. What do you rate it?
I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go too much higher just because of what it's about.
Yeah.
But Deanna was a badass.
Yeah.
Deanna was fucking hard.
Yeah.
John Green was even harder.
Yeah.
They're meeting up at the end, and she's like, I probably would have given up if you weren't with me. And she said, you would have too. And he goes, nope,
Yeah.
I wasn't giving up.
Yeah. It was crazy. Like when they were like looking at doorknobs and trying to figure out what countries sold those doorknobs, and they found that blanket sold on eBay, and who was it
yellow
sold to?
vacuum
and,
cleaner.
Yeah. Like they just picked up little tiny clues and
From the videos.
videos.
Wow.
And like tracked this dude down and found his real online thing. 'Cause he was slick on the internet. He had a bunch of like
He played, it was a cat and mouse game.
Yeah.
And he would leave them like,
because he knew that they were looking for him.
he was actually like, they created a Facebook group and had a whole bunch of people like helping solve this. He became a member of that Facebook
Yeah,
group.
he made like fake profiles and like infiltrated this group and was like,
giving them clues in
Yeah.
the group, like
Yeah.
posting videos for them. Like,
Yeah.
here's another video of me killing another cat. Here's another video of
and
me
all
killing
those
a
like
dog.
weird videos he made of himself.
Yeah.
Dude, he was a weirdo.
Like, took the time to Photoshop
Yeah.
his face on other people's bodies.
He made like fan pages for himself about himself. And like, there was a bunch of them, and there was only like 7 people in each.
All right, I don't want to talk about
we'll talk
anything
more
more.
about
We'll
it
talk
on
about Patreon.
Let's do This Week in History.
And now it's time
Jesus Christ.
for This Week in History
You got to do me like that.
with co-host Kev.
Fuck.
What do you got?
February 22nd, 1933, King Kong premiered in New York City. February 27th, our second night. No, this is March. It's March.
Yes, it is.
March 2nd. March 2nd, 1962, Philadelphia Warriors center Wilt Chamberlain scored his NBA record of 100 points in one game.
Yeah, man.
March 3rd, 1931, the Star-Spangled Banner was adopted as the national anthem. March 3rd, 1991, Rodney King's vicious beating by the Los Angeles police officers was caught on video. March 4th, 1789, the Constitution of the United States went into effect.
Wow.
You want to hear some jokes?
No.
Good, because I don't have any.
Good. Excellent job, both of you.
Thank you.
Danny, definitely more than Kev. I'm just going to be honest.
Thanks.
Danny, you were just magnificent as always. Kev,